Hello, this is the first video in a series I'm making where I'm gonna be teaching you how to make art style. Before I start, I'm gonna ask you to subscribe, please. Okay, so this is the first episode in my series on where I teach you guys how to make my style, aka art style. And today we're gonna do blog design because blog design is fire. Yay! So you need first of all, you need a layout piece, something like this. Should be fine, something like this, but if you wanna do something else, you can do something else. So today the theme which I wanna go with is abandoned structures, like houses, buildings, fucking whatever, yeah. Just abandoned stuff. So before anything, I want to establish a background because that's how I make it easier. That makes it much easier to visualize the colors and stuff like that. I'll make it a nice sky bluish. Okay, something like this. Actually no, maybe a bit darker. Yeah, something like this. Okay, I usually like to put the blocks behind everything so it's easier for me to build. Okay, so what I want this to be like abandoned ruins of some sort, like bricks and stuff. So we're gonna need a block palette. Yeah. Okay. Now that we have our block palette, we need to think of colors. Like what colors do we want this to be? Now for me, for this specific case, I want it to be something like dark grayish type thing. A little tip when using colors is never use plain white, plain black, plain gray, or any plain non-color, any plain shade. Usually like to mix it up with a bit of splash of color maybe, because that makes it look much more realistic, to say it like that. Okay, we got something. Now for these blocks I will layer this behind on a darker shade, so it makes it look kinda like layered and better. Like that. Right, nice. Okay, so what I usually like to start with is the base, like the basic form of the structure, and I do that with big texture blocks like these. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm also gonna layer some darker ones under it to give it the illusion of like depth, maybe. Okay, now you might be like, this looks like shit, because it does right now, sadly. So we're gonna fix that by adding some support pillars to these marble stone maybe structures. Okay. Now you may be wondering why I left these spaces kinda like disconnected, because I want to add bricks, because bricks are dope, and I forgot to include them in my block palette. When I'm using bricks like these, I like to make the lighter color, usually darker. It just makes it look nicer for me, I don't know. Okay, nice. So now we can make it look like it's broken into the block design, kinda. Yeah, something like this, you know. And you might be like, but this still looks like shit, because it still does. Just need to add more details. So when you're adding details, just try to think about the overall form of the object you're trying to detail, instead of like the 3D. Try to think of it in the 3D space instead of just thinking it as a plain geometry dash block design. So, and also try to use your imagination. Like for me, these can be bricks. They can be made to look like bricks if used in the right context. Okay, now we use the actual brick object. What I usually like to do with this one is just make the base black blending and the lighter color like much lighter. So you see just the little bricks pop out instead of the full object. Okay, and now we need to add some texture. For texture I like to use these on base black blending and detail dark black maybe. Now let's make this -20 so it's above everything else there. Maybe this one could be a little cooler, yeah. You see how this makes it look like dirty and round down? Okay, now just continue doing this until it looks cool. You can also use the bigger stone blocks to vary the cracks. The layering won't be an issue because it will give more of a random assortment every time you play. For me that's kinda nice. Okay, now for the top parts, what I want to do for these will be to add one of these here, make it smaller, like that, nice, and just copy paste it. Oh shit, I almost forgot to add the texture. Like that, nice. Well, let's make this -20 because I forgot. -20. Just it's above all the things behind the main focal point. -20. Nice. Nice. Okay. So next thing, I will add one more platform to this. Wait, let me enable the control so I'm forgetting. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna add these little things, just being over to add one more layer of, to put it like, just to make it look nicer. So you can just squeeze this very tightly, like this. Okay, now to make this look not like shit, we're gonna use some glow. Yes, we finally get to the lighting. For the lighting, I like to use glow with dark blue for this instance because black would be too overwhelming and would just make it look dry and ugly and bad. Also, to add lighting and to know where to add shadows, try to think of what things are above what things. Like try to think of the structure in a 3D space and try to also imagine the light source coming from a certain direction to be able to know where the shadows and lights would be. Okay, so what I'm doing here is basically just adding some finishing touches, like some polishing details before I add the vegetation, the flowers, the plants, the shit like that, you know? Okay, for the vegetation I like to use those little rock outline objects because they add a lot of texture and kinda look like plants already, so I don't really have to do much work into doing the plant texturing myself. It's a pretty lazy way, but it also helps a lot with optimization. for spike designs, it's basically the same thing as just a block design, but you have to kind of make it look like a spike. It's pretty simple, just try to make a triangle with a lot of texture and it should work. And of course we cannot forget the B3 layer, the thing that's basically supporting the whole structure, because without it, this would be physically impossible, and this does not make any physical sense, therefore we need to add that. So it looks like it's actually a part of real life. Okay, now this looks kinda plain, so I'm gonna add a little light to the orb, which will be reflecting onto the structure, because if you know me, you know I love my reflections. So yeah, it's not necessarily something you must do, it's mostly of an optional. I just like to do it because it has more intensity and more dynamicism to the block structure. So yeah, that was all. I hope you liked it and I hope this helped you, because a lot of people have been asking me to do this. In the next episode we're gonna be doing backgrounds, so please subscribe to see that. Please subscribe, please man, I'm desperate, please.